I'm going to show you how to personalize your emails at scale for local businesses. So this is specifically for local lead gen. So if you are a marketing agency or a software company and you're targeting local businesses in US, Canada, UK, etc., these are three different ways that you can personalize your emails, your cold emails for these local businesses. So the first thing I just want to cover very quickly is you want to lean into how you found them, right? So a good personalization when it comes to local lead gen or local businesses, because it's very difficult to kind of like do problem sniffing. So what I mean by problem sniffing is, I don't know, if you're reaching out to a tech company, you can see that they've just launched a product. You can see that they might have like updates. You can see all sorts of different stuff online because they tend to have a strong online presence. And it tends to be like they can provide updates, they can do all this kind of stuff. Whereas with local businesses, it's a lot more difficult to actually define that or find that information online. So it means that you have to personalize over trying to be relevant, right? But the main question you want to answer when you're actually reaching out to these businesses and just businesses in general, when you're doing cold email, the main thing you want to answer is why you, why now, right? But if you can lean into that framework and lean into how you actually found them and use that as part of your like relevant personalization in your first line, then that's going to do you wonders, right? So the three ways that you can do this is you can use their phone number, which you can find online. And I'll show you some examples in just a second. You can use their phone number. You can also use their Google Maps or Yelp reviews. And then you can also use their location, right? So these are three different ways that you can actually do, and I'll run you through some examples in just a second. And then I'll also show you how to do it in Clay step by step. The next thing that you can do on top of that, right, if you want to take it another level, is to add layers to it. So you can mix these up. So you can use their phone number plus their Google reviews plus their location, and you could add all of those things in kind of like your first line, right? And the first line might be a little bit longer in that case, but then it makes it super relevant or super personalized to that specific business, right? So that is, three different ways that you could do it. So I'm going to show you some examples now. And then I'll show you how to do them and run them through in Clay in like an actual table. So you might say, hey, name, just try to call you on number, right? Now, the good thing about this is in the preview text, because it's pretty short, it will probably show up either both on mobile and on desktop. So they'll probably see like this part, right? Or, hey, just try to, so they're more likely to then open it or to look through the rest of the email, right? Because it looks like it could be from a customer and so on. And then you could obviously, finish it off by saying, I'm not sure why that's not finished, not written properly, but it said, figured it might be better than to email you, right? For example, and you could finish that. Just tried to call you on number, but couldn't get through. Figured it might be better to email you. The next example for using the Google/Yelp reviews, you could say, hey, saw that you had number of reviews. So with Clay, it could say, I don't know, you have 70 5-star reviews. That's awesome for X niche, so for a dentist or a dental practice in New York, right? And then that leads into, but the one thing I want to stress here is it should tie in some kind of way to the rest of your email, right? It shouldn't just be first line and then body that's like totally detached. It should lead back in some kind of way, mention something that was mentioned in the first line. And then the third example here is, hey, name, I was looking for dental practices in, and then specific location, not just in New York. You want to say like in XYZ, right? In, I don't know, in Manhattan, like in, I don't know, I'm not from New York, but if you're in London, for example, I was looking for dental practices in Croydon, right? As an example, somewhere it's like a place in London, and saw that you had rating. So I wanted to reach out and see how you're getting, how you currently getting, your customers, something along those lines, right? So that's what the examples would actually be. Now let's see and run through like how you could do this within Clay. So we're going to use these specific examples and build these out. So you would come into your Clay table. So this is just a small table of, I don't know, 160 odd companies. So these are all pulled from Google Maps, and these are dentists. So we've got their phone number here. And then what we're going to do, so we've actually already done some of these things, but I'm going to show you like from scratch here. If we just scroll all the way to the end, we can set up a, what do we want to set up? We want to set up a formula. So we would probably write, so for example, so we might copy this and say, just try to call you on, so we might say like, and we want to keep this lowercase, so just try to call you on, and then we would put in their number. So this is quite literally just using variables. It's really not that complicated and relatively simple to do. We're just trying to find readable phone, but couldn't get through. Figured it might be better to email you, and we'll do that generate formula. And then that would just basically fill out every single one of these, essentially. Let's just give that a second. Once it loads, cool. So that's what it would look like on the surface. And then we just put output correct, and then that would run through for like this, right? So we can try, this might be called like first line 1. Then we might do the second one. So we would come over to here and we go into formula. And then we would use this one, saw that you had. So this one's going to be a bit more like in detail. And then we'd come over to that. And then we would change this to, where is it? So we want to find this is the reviews, like the number of reviews. So saw that you had 50, it might be like, I don't know, 57 5-star reviews. That's awesome for a, this one might be a bit interesting actually. But yeah, let me just cut this for now, and I'll show you in like it's going to take a couple more steps to actually get this. That's awesome for a, and then you might, I don't know, you might put, dental practice in, and then we put the location, and then we have, so the company address here, but we obviously don't want the full address. We want like a normalized location. So what we would do is we might, let's look and see if there's any here. Location, yeah, cool. So it says New York. Ideally we want to have a specific one, but we could just put in New York just as an example, and we generate. Right, and if you've got a list that is more than just dental practice, so it's HVAC, plumbing, and dental practice is like all in one, then you could obviously change. You would add one of the columns as like either a dental practice or a HVAC or etc. And then you would add in the variable there, and then you would just generate the thing. And then you can see this is number 2. So yeah, so saw that you had 75-star reviews. That's awesome for a dental practice in New York. Saw that you had 139 4.8-star reviews. That's awesome for a dental practice in New York. And you can say here as well for the first one, just tried to call you, but couldn't. Just tried to call you, but couldn't on this number. And then the numbers are different for every single one, right? So each one is personalized. Each one is slightly different. Now, obviously, you can do this in Clay. You can also do this by just adding variables and just making sure that you've got the variables aligned with like your email sending tool, like SmartLead. But if you wanted to, just another way of doing it, you could do it like this. And then I'll show you the third way now. So we've got here, I was looking for, right. So what we would want to do, because it says specific location. So we want to come over to, so we see location here, right? And this is where it might be a bit tricky to do it within, like say directly as like a variable within SmartLead. So you want to maybe write it out here. And the way that we would do this is, you see over here, we've got the full address. So we say Manhattan Ave, Central Park S, Madison Ave, and so on and so forth, right? So what we would want to do is we'd actually want to separate that Madison Ave part from there. So let's see, there's 2 ways of doing this. Either we can try with a formula or we could try with AI. So we might go using the input and then put the input in of the address. This is probably better for AI only. Yeah, this is better for AI. So we want to go over to here. We'll just go on enrich data. Click AI, use AI. Using the input and then put the address in, remove everything other than the street name. And then it's super specific, but we're not talking about like 351 Madison Avenue. We're saying like, hey, was looking for dentists around Madison Avenue, right? And then it's around that specific street. So it's super specific, but it's not like weirdly specific where it's like 351 Madison Avenue. It's just like around Madison Ave. Remove everything other than the street name and only output the street name. So we might have that as like a prompt. And then we could add an example here. So let's just do it for the first one and see what that would look like. So we have, So yes, we could have, I don't know, 23rd Street, for example, right? And then we put use the prefix. I was looking for dental practices around, and then it would say 23rd Street. And then what you would do is once you've got the AI, you then put it into the formula column, and then you would create a formula for the whole thing, right? So I'm just going to run or try this on 5 rows just to see what it looks like. So just give it a second. Okay, this is pretty awesome. So it says W 23rd Street, Central Park S, Manhattan Ave. That's like literally perfect. So what we would do, so we would then save and run 10 rows, or I'm just going to save it and only run like for the first one, save and do not run. So I just don't want to use up credits. So I'm just going to run it for like this one. And then you would go into formula, and then you would say, so copy this and paste this. I was looking for dental practices, and then you could say around instead of in, so around, and then you would put the specific location. So you might put, we just need to, hold on, 1 second, this just needs to be put into a second column. Cool, and then we would, so we just do it from there. Formula, that, and then just put, dental practices in specific location, and that might be here, response, and so and then star rating. So we might put rating, and saw your 5-star reviews. Nice job. No, I wouldn't even put nice job. Star reviews. I'd probably just leave it like that. So there's almost like spin tags basically. And then that's what it looks right. So obviously it's not going to work for the other ones because just this is the only one that we've got here. And then it would just leave a space. But if we want to do it for a second one, we just run it like this, and then this will update automatically. So just give it a second. So so there we go. So I was looking for dental practices in W 23rd Street. We don't want in. Sorry, we want around. Sorry, we don't want in. We want around. So we just change that. The column. We don't want in. We want around instead. And then save that, and that'll update for those two. And that would just say, is it updated? Okay, cool. So we want to just make sure. Oh, that's why there's just a bit of an error in the thing. So just go here, around, and just make sure there's a space there and save the settings. Okay, let me just refresh. But you can see now you have, so if we just go back to here and click on this, and it'll refresh. There you go, perfect. So here we go. So I would say, I was looking for dental practices around W 23rd Street and saw your 5-star reviews, thought I'd reach out, right? Or thought I'd email you. Or you could even add the phone number. So, hey, I was looking for dental practices around Central Park S and saw your 4.8-star reviews, tried to call you on X but couldn't get through, figured I'd email you, right? So it's a bit longer than normal, but it's pretty damn good. And then you quite literally would just fill this in. So you're using AI to basically pass the data from the location or the address that you have here. And instead of manually like going, okay, cool, Manhattan Avenue, and removing like, because obviously we want 30, 120, 130, 28. We don't want that, or we don't want New York. New York is too broad. So we want the specific, right? Ideally, we just have like Lafayette Street, Waverly Place, and so on and so forth. And then we have that looking for dentists around that area. So it's general but specific. And it means that I'm targeting you. Why did I reach out to you? That's answering that question. And why now? And it's answering that question. So that's 3 ways that you can personalize your first lines for emails to local businesses. I hope you found this video useful. Obviously, if you wanted to just do the rest, you would literally hit play, and you would run the whole column, and then these would update, and then you have a choice of three, or you can combine them if you really want to. You could actually create another column. I've gone too many columns here, but you create another column where you merge a couple of them and say, like I said, hey, looking for dental practices around W23rd Street, saw your 5-star reviews, tried to call you on X, couldn't get through, figured I'd email you, right? That would probably be like a really good first line that you could use. So yeah, hopefully you found this video useful. As always, make sure to, actually not make sure, just if you want to subscribe, if you like it, then hit like, leave a comment below on what kind of videos you want to see. And if you want to book a call myself to help you out with dump you email services, then link is in the description below. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.